Ashely Sutton from the TLC's 1,000-Pound Best Friends. Welcome to the show.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited.
This is so freaking cool. Like I'm telling you.
Mike works from home a lot, and we
work from home, yeah.
Me too. I work from home, by the way.
Okay,
nice.
yeah.
And I'll come home from the office, and Mike he's watching 1,000-Pound Best Friends on repeat every single day, endless.
That is crazy.
It helps, because I was starting to tell you, there's 1,000-Pound Best Friends, and 600-Pound Life, and it does help, but it feels so like voyeuristic, and they're just they're so suffering. But this show is so much more positive, and it's and as somebody we did this together, 200 pounds and 100 for him.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I can relate to especially the whole journey that you guys do, and I'll stop talking soon, but Tank somebody I'm comfortable eating with.
Right.
It's not, your eating friend, and you're going to the
that's
gym.
a real friend.
Yeah.
You can't eat with everybody.
Exactly.
You have those friends where you just, but when you can just sit there, and whether it's a salad or whether you're just getting down and having a bad day, if I can eat with you, we're good.
We are comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's the level of comfort.
Yeah. And that's who he is for me. And so watching the show and that journey from we go out to eat and stuff and do all this to no, we're going to go on this journey. And we're also not going to let it stop us from doing all these other things. It's really cool.
And I think that was, our thing the whole time. I can still lose weight. Now, do you have to change your lifestyle because you want to stay away from those crazy, fast food places? Yes.
Right.
But you can still live.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's all that we've ever wanted to do as friends. So support each other, of course, when we were big, but also through this journey, because as you guys know, it's very hard and you need people there.
Yeah. And I think that's so cool because I think sometimes I have this when I, I've told you it's I've been big and small. I've cycled. When I'm at my biggest, sometimes I have this urge to be well, I can't do anything until I get this weight off.
Yes.
But you don't wait until, it's awesome.
And it's so funny that you said that because I feel like a lot of us have that same mentality. I'll do it when.
Mm-hmm.
And it's do it now.
Yeah.
Why can't you? But I feel like it's also a self-esteem thing, or it's the thing of I'll start Monday. We always joked about that. Diet starts Monday.
Right.
Yeah. Diet starts Monday. But life is just rolling by.
Yeah.
And even now, sometimes I'll get in, this personal thing where I feel like that life has passed me by for those days that I did, say I'll do it once I lose, or I'll do it on Monday. And it's I could have been doing it all along, but then I have to remind myself, don't get down. Hey, now we're moving forward. Now you're living life. You can still live a healthy lifestyle and still do whatever you want to do.
Right.
So.
That's beautiful. Yeah. One of the things we were talking about, with the show and stuff, it's everything is filmed and in this process, but what's kind of the hard part about this journey that people don't see on TV?
The hardest part, and for whoever's on the show and getting ready to have surgery, I kind of feel bad for them. At the end of the day, it is a production.
Right.
So, it is our lives, yes, but, the cameras have to be set up and, cameras have to be put in place, lighting, all of that stuff, wherever we are, you don't just walk in a room lit
right.
for everyone. That takes time.
Yeah.
And so, you are with people that are working their 12-hour shift.
Oh,
That's true.
And
Yeah.
so, they may not always have time, to get us what we need. And so it's on us to, take our eating, whatever responsible for our own selves and say, either I'm not going to eat what you guys, bring, I'm going to bring it myself, or are we going to go to a restaurant where we can have stuff? Because, the people behind the scenes are regular size.
Right.
Yeah.
It's us, that are struggling. And that is something that we've struggled with. We've fussed, we've argued, but I get it. They're at work and it's on us. So I think that's, to me, the hardest part, to make sure that you're still eating on schedule, because, you may go through an hour block where we're filming 2 and 3 scenes, and that is put together, do scene, take down, possibly move location,
right.
do that same thing all over again with them having, the crew having a break.
Yeah.
So it's we are working our lives in front of the camera are working, with the people who are behind the scenes, and you have to make yourself accountable, making sure you're working out, making sure you're doing those things that you're still losing weight. Because when you get the doctor, he doesn't care about any of that.
Yeah.
He
Right.
wants to know, did you lose the weight or are you losing your weight?
He's not worried about the show.
Absolutely at all.
Yeah.
He wants to know what you did, and so you have to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough just being on set because don't they like cater a lot of the food?
They do, yeah.
you're just, like,
So they
looking at
pick the
them eat all this
restaurant,
food?
but imagine, and nothing to them. I think that they're amazing, but imagine never being plus size, like never maybe I'll say reaching over 200. I don't know why, but that's the threshold for that.
I understand. Yeah, it is.
So imagine never being over 200 pounds and you're picking a restaurant. So you've never had to worry about carbs, never had to worry about if a sauce has sugar or anything in it. And you're saying, well, we had the healthy restaurant, but they're not saying healthy. We had that restaurant yesterday. The crew, we're going to go here.
Yeah.
And so it's like, we may not always have the opportunity to go ourselves and get it. So at one point, especially me, I was filming after surgery. I remember telling the EP, the executive producer, I was like, look, whatever they got, they're going to mess my order up. And so he had to go himself and get, what I needed because I was going through, I believe I was at the soft phase when I came back to set.
Right.
And I'm just like, I need this. I can't eat whatever y'all doing. Like, this is the second time around. I got to do it right.
Yeah.
So don't even start me with bread and all that stuff. Really, I was literally weeks out of surgery. So he did.
That's cool.
But I had to express that, not diva-esque, but sometimes I felt like, and I had to find my own voice.
Right.
I didn't want to, even in my personal life, I don't want to bother people. If I can do it myself, I
Totally.
don't care what weight I am. I'm going to do it. That's how I was taught.
Yeah.
So then to have to depend on someone else, I felt like I was bothering them. And I'm like, but a part of it, that's what whoever is on the team, that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
If you need something and you can't get it because you have to be in front of the camera and your mic, you can't just, say, oh, I'll be right back when the scene has already been set up.
Right.
So, yeah.
And we've had people with like certain like dietary restrictions on before, and because it feels like you're put in this position when you're having to ask like for like this like, well, I need food like this particular, and because you don't want to sound like you're being difficult, but it's just like,
Right.
I need this.
Right. And so it was like, okay, fine. I'll just bring it myself. Whatever you guys are going to do, that's fine. But I'll just bring my own food because it seems that, at one point it became like an issue.
Yeah.
Because you guys are ordering here, you guys are ordering there. And so, you hear somebody arguing, I can't order anything on the menu. So now somebody's going off. And you know whose voice that sounded like, right? So, but I got it. I got it. And it took me a while to understand why somebody would just go off, because after so long you're saying it like this and like this. Now I gotta go up here. Now I'm looking like the crazy diva.
Yeah.
And it could have just been done right the first time. So
Right. When you're doing something so like publicly like losing weight on TV, I mean that kind of opens yourself up to like people you're literally opening your body up for people to just comment on constantly. What is that like?
That is insane. So I remember season 1, we're getting ready to come out. They got us a therapist. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't, at that point, I didn't know the magnitude of the show. I don't even know if if maybe we knew it was going to be on TLC.
That therapist dropped some bombs too. That I'm just like, that's
oh
good
my God.
shit.
Don't you know Dr. Connie?
Yeah.
That is my white grandma.
Yeah.
I was like, this lady got me crying. Oh my God.
She told Scott like rejection doesn't stop with weight loss or something, and I was like, whoo.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. But they had us a therapist, and I'm like, why am I a therapist? And so the girls are already freaking out. They're like, oh, and people are already saying stuff. They put the promo out there. And people are already saying stuff. And I'm like, y'all, this is my thing. I'm just not gonna look. If you start looking, you're gonna go down the rabbit hole.
Can't look at the
I mean,
comment.
we're comedians. We know. Yeah, totally.
So that was my thing. You'll find. So I do have a Facebook page for the show, but I am a lot on Instagram just because I had to block out certain words.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Even I just happened to randomly see a comment, and I was like, "Don't let it spiral. You don't let it." Somebody, and a woman of all things, but I'm like, people of all sizes watch the show, and they'll never know what my journey is. But I think it said something to the effect of, "I knew you couldn't lose the weight," and I'm just like,
Haters gonna hate.
right. But it's like for a second, it triggered me. It really did. And I had to keep reminding myself, like I was like in a affirmation, like it's okay, numb her, like it's okay.
Yeah.
That's her opinion of it, but what the real is. Like the clothes that I was wearing in 2022, all of that stuff, you can't wear those anymore.
Yeah.
You can do this, you can walk, you can do all of these things that you couldn't do. I am the smallest that I've ever been in my adult life, and that's including when I went off to college from my parents' house. This is the smallest that I've been.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I am excited. So am I still losing? Is there still work to do? Yes. But I'm going to keep moving forward. But but like you said, it's so easy to make fun of people. And I remember seeing Megan and Tina Arnold. I remember just seeing them like, damn, they are taking a hit. And nobody was saying anything, really about me.
Yeah.
But then as the show got popular, as the show moving on, now I've had surgery.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, she doesn't deserve a second surgery. I'm like, don't look.
She doesn't deserve
she's
a
gonna.
second. Are you serious?
Yeah, oh yeah, yep. She's gonna mess it up. And even I posted a picture of Dr. Proctor and myself. And they're like, well, she looks like from before surgery, y'all. I can't lie.
Of course.
This season, that messed me up for a minute. I had to really just grapple with it because I know what my weight is. I know what I weighed in at Dr. Proctor. I know what what my scale says now, what my clothing size is now. But just for some reason, it feels weird. Like you said, because I'm in from the public eye, I felt bad from somebody saying, well, I can't tell if that's the before or after. And I'm like, well, how the fuck can you not tell?
Yes.
And I'm like, what do you mean? So I wanted to scream, but it was just like, if they can't tell, it's okay, because you can tell, your mom can tell, sis can tell, the girls can tell, my friends, my work friends can tell. They see me being more energetic. They see me being, coming out of my shell even more because I've lost the weight. And I don't care how, how much charisma you think you have. Losing the weight, it definitely brings out more in you. I don't care who you are. You just feel better. Totally. You feel better about yourself. So I just had to remind myself of those things. But for a week, y'all, I was messed up. So it was like they showed that. I posted the picture, and I think at that time they were showing us beefing with this season with Vanessa.
Oh yeah.
And so people, I guess, were either Team Vanessa or Team Megan.
So funny.
And baby, they went in.
Really?
Yeah, I had to block people.
We're Team y'all, just for what it's worth. No,
I'm just like, oh my God. Right. So I was just like, y'all, it's okay. Like so I think Megan went live after the first show when they showed the preview, and I was just like, y'all, this is just the first episode, everybody. Like, calm down. You're gonna see da. Like they're like, we're not gonna go the whole season beefing.
Right.
It's TLC. They aren't gonna do
TLC
that.
is great at bringing the drama out.
Oh, right.
So good. The editing is like,
absolutely. But I was like, everybody just hold on. Just let the season play out. Like, we aren't gonna just, be, frenemies the whole season.
Right.
Just watch. But the first season they were going for blood.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the
could see
inbox,
that.
and I'm just like,
even I watching it, I was just like, this is different.
right. So, but even with friends and weight loss, sometimes it can bring those things out.
That's true.
We are all hungry trying to lose weight, and it brings out different things when I want a piece of cake versus I'm eating a salad.
One of the funniest things this past season, was you explain like hangry to, you were talking about Tina and the meatball situation.
Meatballgate.
Meatballgate.
But man, Scott just being like, I'm 500 don't tell me I don't know what tastes good. It's just one of the funniest moments I've ever.
So the backstory, hopefully nobody's like, oh,
were they that bad?
They were. So
see, I've never had a meatball that I didn't like. So when y'all were reacting like that to the meatballs, I was like, damn, what's in these meatballs?
What's not in the meat? So that was the problem. So one of the scenes that we filmed that didn't make it into, because they had a lot of we now have 5 cast members. You had 3 surgeries this season.
Yeah,
it was a lot to put in 8 episodes. I don't know why they just gave us 8, but that was a lot. And before we knew, I was like, dang, they're done. So I feel like they showed a little bit of Scott's surgery. They showed a little bit of Tina's surgery, and I'm just like, man, we are going. They show Vanessa's skin surgery, so it was just rolling. But so one of the scenes that you don't see is when Vanessa was healing, Tina Megan and myself, we went to a cooking class. It was so
nice.
cool. And so where we learned how to make the meatballs and like the noodles or whatever. So we took that recipe and we took it on vacation.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the idea behind it was, which is why I had a major attitude.
Yeah.
Was that Megan, Tina, and myself, we were gonna cook, and Vanessa and Scott were supposed to sit down. So that was the whole thing. So before the scene gets started, they tell them to, so this is what's going to happen because you were not at cooking class. So you don't know what the hell is going on. Go sit down. Vanessa knows. She's been doing this for a long time. She's a pro. Scott wanted to be a diva and be in the scene. So now, I guess, of course, for the producers, this is great TV.
Yeah.
But let's just see how this plays out. So instead of being in the kitchen and saying, what can I do to help, it looks like you're putting a little bit too much salt in the meatballs. And so that's when you hear me say, Scott, and I had it up to here. It was a long day, y'all. We had been traveling.
No, yeah.
So I think I said something to the effect of, I'm 39 years old and I know how to salt or season food or something like that. But it was like hearing him in the back of my head, instead of just finishing seasoning it, I'm just like, okay, I don't want them to think that it's too salty.
Right.
So I just stopped. So when I stopped, and then the meatballs cooked, they smelled amazing, but then the taste wasn't there.
The meatball episode.
Meatballgate.
And so he was like, oh, it tastes good to me. And so Tina was, she had already had surgery at that point and she was really hungry. Like I said, we had been
I love
traveling.
how straightforward she was, man.
She shocked us. That was our first time seeing Tina be, as we call, she always laughs, be spicy.
Yeah.
And so I think Megan was sitting like right here to me and she's like, oh, let's bring it down. And I was like, shut the fuck up.
Let her go off.
I'm right. That's why I was like, for once, it's not you or it's not Vanessa.
That's a good point.
Let this happen.
Yeah.
It needs to happen, okay? And then I don't know whatever that one was we brought on vacation, but it was like 0 carb or something, low carb. And basically, if there's no carbs, there's a lot. I'm assuming there's alcohol. I don't know what happened, but it was nice. So we were sitting there, just kind of buzzed, and it's happening. And I don't think Tina had any handy wine, which more for me and Megan.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so I'm just like, well,
let this play out.
Let this play out, and then
let him
Scott
cook.
got in right, and then Scott got in his feelings. I was like, oh, this is, and then I saw then so Tina's right here, so I felt like I got a front row seat. But that was the whole idea of why we were bothered, and I'm like, well, see, if you had just left me alone, I could have put a little bit more seasoning because I got this. And, I told him, so he was like, what do you mean? So when he came back, of course, they couldn't say that because the people would have probably called me racist. I don't know. But what I told him when he came back was, I said, well, you don't know how to season your food. Your grandmama don't know how to season your food. And so you hear them like how y'all did. So behind the scenes, they are cracking up. So we can hear them, but we can't, of
we
course.
Were all thinking it, watching it. It's so funny.
And I'm just like, you can be 500 pounds and not know how to season food, but it's okay.
Yeah.
You do what you're taught, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So don't take, basically what I was trying to tell him was, it's okay. Your mama don't know how to season food. Your grandma don't know how to season food. So you are fine. Don't take offense to it. Like, he that is I think he said, I don't even know if they put that in. He was like, that is an attack on my character. I'm like, sir, because you don't know what a little seasoned salt is. Relax.
So funny. God, yeah. No, that's y'all crack me up. There's so many points to the season. This was like the best season anyway.
You know what? And for me, even though I got the opportunity to do it with my best friends, it's different when you're now have this camera in your face.
Yeah.
And it's like, you get, you're put in these situations versus if something just, you're just walking along and something just happens to be funny along the way. So, I had to find my place where I was, how I fit, what I felt I could do as a Black woman. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm the only person of color on the show. Like, what can I do? I felt this big pressure, even though I know them, it's still like, I had this thing in the back of my head of how I'm being portrayed. So this season I felt like, hey, I'm just going for it. Scott was the catalyst to me being very comfortable.
Really?
Because I'm just like, when I get pissed, I don't care where I am now. So now this is what we're doing.
Right.
But it just gave me the opportunity to help Tina, I call her the new Tina, just so I know who I'm talking
That's
about.
so funny. I mean,
know
we have to
They
act,
replaced
like
the Tina.
That is some shade.
I know. Like we're just
Okay?
like, are we not going to talk about on the show? You're like, we're not going to talk about how there's a new Tina.
Literally not. I'm like, okay, so we just go act like she was never there. So okay,
She's in the
Same
She's in the
name and
recap.
everything. She's in the one recap at the very beginning. Get out of my house, and then
right. I'm just like, now that's some shade, okay?
Dude.
But yeah, so just being able to mentor them, saying, hey, relax, just have fun, just be yourself, or even after as the show is playing, maybe if someone else is getting more screen time, I'm like, look, this person is good for TV. If you aren't getting, if you feel like you aren't getting as much screen time as that person, you're normal.
Me and Tate, we'll write some jokes for Scott, and we'll get them up there.
Yeah. So so I just I was just trying to basically just kind of help him remind. So I just felt comfortable. I knew what was expected of me. At first, I did not know. Okay. So this time you're coming in, you're knowing what's expected of you. And if as the scene is flowing, if you got some shit to say, I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Is there any chance like the production staff like switched out the meatballs for shitty meatballs?
No, I know it. No, we rolled them all up.
Yeah, you did it. Okay,
Yeah, I promise
so funny.
you.
I was like, some intern was like, watch this, y'all. I'm about to cross chaos.
I was like, oh my god, these are gonna be so amazing. Like we knew they weren't gonna be as good as when the lady cooked them.
Yeah.
But we at least thought that they were gonna be flavorful.
Yeah.
And we bet even the sauce. That didn't,
Damn.
Yeah. So
Damn, if the sauce ain't helping the meatballs,
and so you understand now why Tina was up here.
Yeah.
And so he's saying, I think he said, be respectful.
Yeah.
What? If you had set the fuck down, then the meatballs may have had a little bit of seasoning.
I don't like when people point out my fault. Come here.
Exactly.
I'm sorry we have that button, Scott. I'm really
sorry, Scott. So yeah.
One of my other favorite moments from the show this season is you guys go on like a speed dating
oh my god
thing,
so
which
fun.
So many things happen this episode. I think it's your best episode. It's so funny. A guy sits down with glasses, you're immediately like roasting the shit out of him. Like it's great, all of it. It's such a good episode because I also think I have so much I want to talk about it already. But like you highlight you highlight just like talking about dating, when you're a person of size, especially in a big city like fucking Atlanta, where it's kind of a nightmare. Anyway,
right.
Talk a little bit about that and your experience. I guess like how's your body changes and like your confidence and stuff. Like how's that?
Well, first I'd like to say, and I'm like, oh, why would she say that? So first, what they, so me seeing the edited episode, I was like, so they aren't gonna, point out that we made a connection. So the guy that actually said, "Oh, did y'all?" We did.
No, it looked fun. It was cute.
Yeah. So as he was sitting, they're, moving along, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So the person's just sitting down. I'm like, okay, I am used to listening to people. So for the last 9 some odd years, outside of my full-time job, I Uber.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So that's like being a taxi cab.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So you listen to people. So I'm used to that. So I was like, okay, I just kind of put that hat on if I really wasn't interested.
No, smart.
Or if they weren't interested and their defense mechanism was to just talk. So he comes in and I'm just like, it's nighttime.
Yeah, it's so
and there's
funny.
lights in here. Why is his glasses on? And so I literally say, like, I'm talking to a friend. I was like, oh, I know you're not finna sit down with them glasses on.
Yeah.
Like, what are you finna do? Because I need to see your face. Like, what if I think I like you and then you take the glasses off? I'm like, oh,
Little John situation.
yeah. So from there, we just kind of talked and we hit it off. And I was gonna pull a Vanessa, y'all. I'm not
her
gonna
number?
I
Yeah.
was, but I think the reason that I decided against it was I think he had already left. I'm gonna be honest. Not that I was trying to do the right thing, but we did end up matching. So we did,
Nice.
and we actually outside of the show, of course, we actually went on a date. So it was
nice.
really nice, and he's a really really nice guy.
That's what's up. Shout out Shades.
Right. But I just always felt as a bigger person that there was this lack of confidence, for me. And so you naturally put yourself in a smaller pool. I don't know how guys do it, but for women, that's what you feel that you have. And so then, with losing the weight, as we were saying, you gain that confidence, you gaining that self-awareness. Now, we all struggle, as you know, if you're losing a whole lot of weight with body dysmorphia.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, and not only that, I'm getting older. Some shit that used to be up here is down here. You know, something is wagging. You know, but still, you're still feeling confident. And it gives you the confidence to put yourself out there. So I don't know if myself, when I first came to Proctor, and even when I look back at that, I'm like, I was fucking waddling in his office. Like, what the hell? You know, so just even watching that, I don't know if I would have had the confidence to tell. And Shade's name is Gaffa, so shout out to Gaffa.
Shout out Gaffa.
He, you know, I don't know if I would have had the confidence to be like, oh, I know you're not finna, you know,
to step to me like this.
Right.
Yeah.
I would have been like, hey, how are you? I mean, I probably would have been thinking, why is his shade
But
on?
you would have just said,
I would have never, you know, had the confidence to tell him to politely take them damn shades off.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. So, you know, I think it just, you know, even at the age now, you know, I just turned 40, you know, just having with wisdom and, you know, the weight coming off, kind of having that confidence.
Yeah.
Now there's some women, because, you know, this is what I feel. So you mentioned 600-pound life.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what I used to
They're
think.
never single.
Never single. I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
They booed up
What is
hard.
happening? And it's so weird, because then I feel like I'm saying that because they're 600 pounds or whatever, 500, that they shouldn't have the love of their life. But it's more so I'm not doing that. I'm questioning, well, if they have the confidence or they were able to meet somebody, however they met them, how come I can't?
Yeah, that's
You
where
know?
What is
so not
wrong
even
with
me?
me?
So nothing, you know, ragging on them or talking about them.
No, yeah.
More so, it's making me look at myself even more. And I mean, these people serve them.
Totally.
Babe, what do you need? Fucking 8 eggs and okay, I got it. And they're fucking holding it with 2 hands. And I'm like, I can't even get a
Real
little
talk.
Chick-fil-A, you know,
Yeah,
something like that.
so-
So, you know, just kind of looking at that. But just realizing as you're, you know, losing weight, I feel like that you love yourself, you know, when you're losing the weight and getting healthier. And then that comes with knowing your worth and knowing that whoever you want, you can have them, you know, if they want you, but it's not about the size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think your self-worth, that's definitely hitting something. I mean, because it's just like, and I mean, a lot of the dating and stuff I'm realizing is how much of it is like me holding myself back.
Same.
You know,
And
stuff like
I'm,
that.
you know, and I'm a work in progress. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
totally.
be very honest. It's every day,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so even you know, one of my friends that I also know from high school, we were thinking about, you know, doing a speed dating at the Battery.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, they're probably gonna be white guys, and I'm just like, okay, like, why are you saying it like I'm gonna like turn away? Like I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, are there gonna be men there? Like, okay, well then we
Let's
can
find
go
out.
see.
Did they like me?
Right.
Hey.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well that's fine, but it's like it's more, and that's what I was trying to tell. It's more about having the confidence to hold a conversation, because you know, the thing that I found is with a mate, you want that person to be your best friend. That person is your friend.
Right.
So I'm just like, if you can talk to them like how I'm talking to you guys,
Yeah.
instead of like, you know, sitting there like staring at them, you know, and then
Not a
they're looking
front.
at you. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like eventually they're going to find out that you do some crazy stuff. But, you know, if they kind of know that up front, know that you're, you know, comfortable, they also are human.
Right.
They are not perfect. It, you know, brings your guard down a little bit more.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, because I think we were watching like an older episode. It was like maybe season 2 or 1, but like you and Vanessa like just go up and talk to like 2 dudes that are playing like pool or something.
Right. And that was, and do you know Vanessa? Vanessa,
Yeah.
She got
And
swag
she's
on
like-
10. It seems her confidence seems like it all just high all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, and she's like that, you know, in real life. Like, that's not for TV. Like, Vanessa does not meet a stranger.
Right.
So I'm like, oh my God, we were going up to them. But at that time, if I'm not mistaken, I hadn't even had surgery yet.
Yeah.
So it's like when I look at those old pictures, I'm just like, was that my back? Is that me from the side? So it's like, you know, carrying that and knowing that even though we're going to talk to 2 guys at a bar, like I am totally not confident, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Almost like, you know, faking it till you make
Yeah.
it.
See,
But
that's
I was
key.
so
You're
scared.
still doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. All I say is I'm trying. You
Yeah.
know? But you know, it's every day knowing that I'm a work in progress, but this time I'm aware and I know that it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do in time? I mean, because like as you're someone that's like kind of, you know, you've done similar to me. Like we've had that like up and down, and you're kind. I mean, honestly, after losing 200 pounds the first time and then gaining it back, knowing what it takes, I don't blame anybody for never losing it again. So like to do it again and again, like how do you stay motivated when you're, you know, when you're like you're facing like I got to do this.
Yeah. So last year, I'm be very honest. I was telling a friend about it afterwards, of course. But when I filmed season 3, I was depressed.
Yeah.
I was, personally going through a breakup, and all this shit was happening. But in front of the camera, we aren't talking about this. So we're talking about me dating. We're talking about this, and that was something that I chose to not put on camera. So not that they just chose to not show it. I just didn't want it on camera. So I literally filmed all of season 3 depressed.
I'm sorry.
And so, I think that's remember going back to when I was talking about that picture when I took with Proctor, and people were like ragging, like, I can't tell us before or after. I was going through it, and I remember being nervous about what he was going to say. I think at that point I was down 100 pounds in surgery, and it really made me nervous about what he was going to say. Did I not lose enough? So I'm just like, oh my God, this is my first appointment. What's going to go on? And he was proud of me. Of course, he wanted to see me under 200. I'm like, Proctor, come on now. I'm gonna be this microphone, like, but I was proud that he was proud of the progress, that I had made. I'm sorry, I forgot the question. I don't want to all the way. Go, I'm sorry, bring me back.
When you're good, like when you're trying to stay motivated and stuff.
Got you. Okay, and so, but as I was saying, I filmed all of season 3 depressed, kind of going through, am I enough? What could I have done? Right, wrong,
right,
and the girls knew, Megan and Vanessa, they knew. But I literally took a year off, and I promise you, if I didn't have the surgery, I probably would have, blew up, but I didn't lose or gain.
Okay.
I just kind of just stayed the same weight. So then when I posted the picture that was doing filming, I think that was really the reason that it just kind of, but I was just like, I just had to take a break.
I think that's great. I mean, taking a year,
so, just one day I just came out of the funk, and I was just like, okay, I'm ready. I still got work to do. I'm proud of it, but I still have work to do. And let's get it going.
Yeah.
Now, do I recommend somebody taking a fucking year off? I do not recommend that. I wish it had been shorter, but at the same time, I can, now, walk or exercise or do whatever I need to do. Count my calories, however you do it. You go ahead and, and do it. But I just had to just take that time to get my brain right, because there was no way I'm over here crashing out, behind the scenes and like, okay, I'm ready. And then, I'm going to lose weight, because losing weight is a full-time job.
It is. We talk about it all the time. Yeah. Like, we're fortunate to have the time, and things like that to do it. Yeah. Wow. Another thing in that speed dating episode, I know someone I just think this is funny. I know someone gets up from Vanessa's at one point,
and just walks out.
I have this theory. Okay, I'm not to defend him. That he was not supposed to be there that night, and he was like, these cameras are fucking up my spot right now.
You know what? Till this day, we don't know what happened.
I'm telling you, he was cheating.
But I just remember, he probably was.
We don't know. That's all it was.
But she was I think 2 women down from me, because I was on the women's side. So 2 women down from me, and so I could, kind of see. And I'm just like, what is happening? So, it's a lot going on. You got production all over here.
No, it's scary.
You got the speed dating lady in front of you. And so you got the cameras so I'm like, okay. But then you just see him just up and leave. And I'm just like, well, did he just have to go? At first. And so then I see her face, and she's kind of shocked. I'm like, oh shit. This man just walked out. And so then I felt bad for her, because it's in a normal setting, I would just get up, because I do what I want to do. So I would just get up and go to my girl. That's what I'm going to do. But in the context of filming, I can't just get up and walk over.
Check on her.
So, we had to get to a point where, either breaking filming where I can go and say, hey, what happened? Are you okay? That had nothing to do with you. And, so as our bodies are changing, Vanessa's body has really changed.
Totally.
And so at that point, she had not had surgery. So, she's looking amazing. I think the dress was a crazy size 8 or something like that.
She's wearing her wig and all that. Yeah.
And so it's you are questioning, I didn't want her questioning her worth based on, like you said, we don't know why the man left.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know if he shouldn't have been there, or, so because it appears like he was like, I don't want to be talking to her.
But they edited it he was just like, oh my God. And he's leaves.
But we really don't know.
I'm telling you, he was
we really don't know how he left. Or, I mean, why he
Speed
left.
dating over.
Yeah,
Right, that's what
that
I'm
body
saying.
language was a dude who was like, "Oh, I'm so busted right
Right,
now."
it did,
Like,
right.
I'm on
Yeah,
camera.
exactly. It didn't look to me like he was like, "Let me
just
get
like,
out of here
fuck,
because
I was
I don't
not
want to be
planning
dating her."
this.
That's why I was like, "Girl, that had nothing to do with you.
Don't
Don't
do
freak
that.
out. Like I don't know what he had going on, but don't take it personally."
God, and then I love Scott was like just great handshake.
He's gonna get a girl, and I'm gonna be so excited.
Yeah, I can't wait. I hope so.
Okay. Whoever she
Scott, we
is,
believe in you, dog. We
whoever
believe in
she
you,
is,
bro.
she's entitled to compensation.
Oh,
Yeah.
I loved watching him date. I actually did. I took it off because I was like, "Oh, we might interview him. Let me take this down." But I had like a TikTok where I was like talking, not like it wasn't like that, but I was just like, as a big guy who likes to date and stuff, I was like, "Yeah, these are the things. Like, don't do this."
Right. No. But he did when we were filming, he did really well.
Yeah.
You know, that was when he
No,
went
that's
height of
such
his
a
weight.
huge step for
You know,
someone.
we were talking about his chair. You have that chair. You got to make sure you ain't busting no chairs. That's a big thing for plus
I
size
busted a
people.
chair.
Yeah.
I definitely have. So he didn't have to use his chair, and the only thing was the food that was hilarious. And then,
Yeah,
how they put
going for the
music to
bite,
it.
yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. But he did really
Yeah,
well.
he did great.
Yeah.
Because I know, like that's so, and because that's one thing he said early on, in the show that I was like,
Very first episode that he's in.
yeah, he's like, I want to lose this weight so I can like date and like be with a woman and like
Right.
and stuff like that. And it's like I can, that's so relatable for so many men out there.
Absolutely, because we
Especially.
always think about the women, but we don't. And that's why I was asking you. I'm like, I don't know, how you guys feel, but
Right.
for me as a woman, this is what goes on. Is when you're plus size and when you are uncomfortable with yourself.
Sure.
How can you date or be comfortable with somebody else being comfortable with themselves when you aren't?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
The
No,
pool
that's
does
great.
get bigger.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
It does. Yeah. No. So I mean, dating altogether at this size, I mean, I've learned a lot, and I'm proud of Scott for doing that. Like,
Oh,
because
absolutely.
yeah, like that was really cool. I think when you're trying to like do the weight loss stuff at the same time, it could be, I don't know, like I had times where I worry about the compatibility of them like being able to like, I don't know if I'm like, does this make sense, where I'm like, is my lifestyle that I'm trying to like cultivate right now going to be compatible with this other person?
Absolutely. And that was my thing in general. Like, oh my God, if my friends see this, I'm so sorry. But it's the thing. So, when strangers, so viewers of the show, I'm saying viewers of the show, I just don't know them.
We call them civilians. who, yeah.
Right. So, if they come up to me, hey, I love the show. I've lost 50 pounds. I'm done. That's great. But when I'm in, my personal life and I'm in my circle and we're sitting down, I don't want to hear about your weight loss, your Weight Watchers points for the day. Keep that shit to yourself.
Yes.
I don't want, now if you told me about a great workout, I love it. But I don't need to know about your calories for the day. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God, shut up.
Do people see you like this, like whole, like they want to be accountable to you, but then and also like, just like update you and really see you as like their.
And it's weird because I'm okay with it, but not every day. Like, I don't need to be like, oh my God, I ate my calories for the day. So I am out. I'm like, well, girl, it's 2:30. I don't know what you're going to do. Leave me alone. But shit.
Also, I feel like weight fluctuates so much. Like, there's plenty of times we be weighing all the time, and you see that it's just a number, and it's constantly going up and down. So somebody like, "Ooh, I lost a pound." I'm like, just give it some time.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
Give it some time, okay?
Yeah. So now I weigh, good or bad, I weigh once a week. So when I mean good or bad, like, so let's say I was pumping it, I was starving, and let's say there's nothing there, or it was just like 0.2. I'm just like, girl, it's a win. Just get off, mark it down, and move on.
Seriously. Because
So,
it's so easy to it's so easy to gain it back. Like I went like when I basically lost 100 pounds, I stayed the same, kind of like you were saying, for like literally like over a year, and I'm like, that's still a win because I'm like
I've
didn't gain it back.
Right. I've never done that. So like you said, it's just a mindset thing where you have to look at it like that. But it's weird because, like you said, if you're dating, I'm like, babe, I'm out of calories for today. Like if I was a guy, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm leaving this hole.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also hard dating to it because I just got into a relationship and it's like you want to kind of go out and you want to go to these restaurants, you want to eat all this good food, but it's not necessarily not like what you should be be doing, but it's like not the journey that I'm trying to do right now.
Absolutely. And I mean, I get that too. I'm just like, okay, if I start dating somebody and I've been on doing like 1,200 calories, if you're going out, you
I
Yeah.
know.
so it's
right
just
away.
like, I have to be steadfast, but at the same time, I'm not going to stop dating. So,
Yeah.
so it's like, you may try to find ways around it. But if you're in a relationship, like, babe, you got to understand. Like,
Yeah.
I got a whole weight loss thing going.
Yeah.
You want to come over.
Yeah.
But, just, I think that there are ways around it where you can still keep your calorie goal or, however you're doing it and still be in that relationship.
And I think too, anybody that you're potentially going to be with is also going to support you in that.
Absolutely.
Or else you're like, what do we do? Like,
I
if
was
you don't understand,
because if you aren't or you don't understand, you got to go.
yeah,
Yeah.
because this took a lot of work and a lot of time out of my life. I'm not going to just subtract all the positive stuff that I've done because we happen to like each other a little bit.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you find, I mean, that, I guess that kind of brings us to even like, when people are on this journey and sometimes they face like, I don't know, this sounds like a harder word. I don't mean always like straight up sabotage or jealousy or whatever, but like it can, I mean, it's such a big change for someone like you've been big your entire life or whatever. And then you're doing all these changes and positive and you're seeing, and then for some people that might be around you, they're kind of stuck in a place. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and so I've actually, and this was both times. I was like, let me stop being on a fucking weight loss journey because
Yeah.
So what ends up happening, both times. So the first surgery and the second surgery, people in my personal life were motivated to lose weight, but they kept going when my shit stopped. I was like, why is this small? I was like, what is this? I was like, you know what, you bitches, I'm just gonna just pop out small. How about that?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna announce nothing.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. But then I was like, why did I motivate you? Like, you had all this time in the world. What made my journey motivate you? And I mean, I guess it's cool, but then I guess I was, like I said, super salty that when I like so-called gave up, that first time, that they were still going with their journey, or they, even this time they actually reached their goal. I'm still working on my goal.
Right.
So I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
I think it helps to know somebody that is kind of like that has lost a lot of weight, because I didn't know, like, Mike's probably the first person I've ever met that's lost like 100+ pounds. You know? So seeing because we lived together in Raleigh and he was on the way down at that time, and I kind of got to see what he was doing to make that happen.
Nice.
And without being able to see that physically, I mean, I didn't know anything about calories or anything like that.
Right.
But once you see somebody do it, it makes it so much more like attainable, or not like just like opens it up to where like this could be a possibility. Let's see if we can make this happen.
Absolutely. So, of course, it was that girl mind that was like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? I was losing weight first. Like, why are you doing that? But then, of course I had to like, come out of that, because these are people in my life that I love and adore, and have known for a very long time. And I'm just like, okay, well, if my journey in any way could inspire you, I have to look at it like that. Go ahead. Because they've shared in that, being plus size, not feeling worthy, the, lack of date, all of that stuff, they understand what that is. So I can't, a part of me does, definitely want to be jealous, but at the same time, I'm rooting for them.
Yeah.
Still could be just like a ripple effect, because like you start doing this journey, then they kind of start it,
Right.
and then somebody in their life doesn't even know you, they kind of start.
This is true.
And there's
This
just
is
butterfly
true.
effects out,
It's like when I bought a bidet for our house, and now like everyone in his extended family has a bidet.
Oh
Real
my
talk,
God, I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
He got a bidet, I got a bidet. I bought my parents a bidet, they bought my sister a bidet. It's
Nice.
really just a bidet family.
The bidet family.
Yeah.
So we're
very
bidets.
very pro bidet podcast.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. One of the other things too that always strikes me watching the show, especially like season 2, like you guys are doing a lot of the kind of like boot camp workouts,
Oh
or
my
like
God, they tried to kill us.
yeah, and I think touching on something else that you were just talking about too, like with the partners and stuff. Sometimes people who haven't been our size before they can't even comprehend like what that physically feels like. And so like it struck me when you guys are like trying to do this boot camp workout, and then you have these people who have never been more than 15% body fat, or like yelling at you, and you're like, dude, you don't understand what this feels like.
I'm about to die.
Was that when you said yelling at us, but then you said season 1?
Oh, that might have been season 1 too. There was yeah.
That was a whole thing.
And Tina was like,
behind
man.
this. And then so what production did not know, so, the girls over their lives, we'd have, trauma
Sure.
that goes on at home that, you talk about as an adult, but we may have not known as children. So I don't, I guess we've never been in a situation where we've been like, or, whatever. So I didn't know until it happened. So we were all freaked out because it was loud.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that she was going to respond in that way. And I did feel bad, but she was able to get through the workout. But then afterwards she was like, I just got to go into the bathroom and melt down.
Yeah.
And,
we don't
production,
all respond.
They're like, hey, I hate to say it, but like, hey, we got the shot.
Yeah.
And I mean,
TLC would be doing that shit.
Right. And I, it's messed up as it is for all of us. I mean, sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
So.
Not even just like
it was messed up though. I really felt bad for her because it really kind of sent her into this spiral that turned into a whole thing. Even at the studio, like it was a whole. It like continued, but it sparked from her being afraid, of not that they were going to do something to her, but it was the loudness, it was the men, and things happen. Back in your childhood, and now that's coming to the forefront.
Absolutely.
And then, like I said, we were in front of the camera.
Yeah.
They couldn't have predicted it was going to happen, but it sparked a little drama. And then now they're at the bathroom door, and it was a whole thing. So.
And we talk about it, or especially when we first started the podcast, we were bigger, and we talk about how like losing the weight, even just by itself, like pulls things out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it brings stuff to the surface, and like things that you were eating or whatever.
My first time going to therapy, ever, was after I lost weight the first time. So I think I had just turned 30, and I want to say I was coming up on a year of the surgery, and I started dating this guy, and it didn't go how I wanted it to. I was like, oh my God, he just wanted me for my body. And I was like so messed up. I was like, girl, you got to go to therapy. And so, but it was like, I thought I was okay. I'm like, here I am. I've lost the weight. And so that time I was like Scott and Tina. So that's the first time, the first time it just, it takes everything.
Yeah.
So you look smaller than what you actually weigh. Mm-hmm. And so I felt really good, and, I put myself out there. But at that time, I definitely was coming out of that shell of, I'm following his lead. Is it okay? Da 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 da. He seems like a really nice guy, and da 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 da. And it was one of the. I felt like it was something off of a teen movie. I was like, oh my God, he just wanted me for my body, and after he didn't even call. Yeah. So I'm in there just like melting down, and I just even looking back on on it now, so many things have happened since then. But like I said, I just turned 30, and it's so weird because I think a lot of people well. I was gonna say a lot of people enjoy their 20s, but for those plus size, people, we may have not enjoyed it. It was weird because 30s is when I felt, that I was beautiful, and that inner beauty.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
And that's where the confidence came from. So if I was displaying confidence in my 20s, that was all a front.
Right.
But it was in my 30s where I found the true beauty, the inner beauty. Now, are you still working on yourself? Absolutely. Because there are definitely days when I'm just like, I'm not sure. But it was this like, I know I look good. And and one of the things that I'm just like, y'all should have put this in the damn show.
Yeah.
But I will never forget, I was at college, and there was something that one of the local radio stations does here. I believe they still do it, but they rent out the part of the convention center, here in Atlanta, and they have vendors. Just a wall-to-wall vendors. They have artists come and perform and all that stuff. And so I was with two of the girls from school. So if you guys don't know, I went to Spelman College. Yeah. So all girls school. Shout out to Spelmanites. And so we were two of the girls from my dorm, small, really pretty, they're light skinned, all that stuff. So we were just walking around. And at that time, I wasn't dating, but I didn't, think I was cute or ugly. Like I was just there. And we passed these guys' booth, and I'm gonna use a piece of paper.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and so he does this. So y'all the girls, and here I am. I think I was in between them. Uh-huh. So he hands one a flyer in front of me, and he hands a flyer to the one behind me.
No.
And he was like, oh yeah, y'all should come out. I was like,
Oh hell no, bro.
I was like, you could even just played it off because I mean, whether I was invited or not, I probably wasn't gonna go.
Right.
But y'all,
Audacity.
that was a kick to the to my self-esteem.
No.
I already knew that they were beautiful, but that didn't have anything to do with my worth. That's just them, you know. But I just felt so small and so unworthy and just whoever in your brain is the ugliest, that's what I was thinking at that time. And so I'm telling you that story now, but I've carried it with me for a long time, on top of being a big girl, on top of the way your weight is situated. So now there's that thing.
Yeah.
So now, as long as you have hips and a butt, you are good. Well, I'm built like my father, and so I'm built for the 49ers, and so it's like being okay with that.
Yeah.
I can't, of course you probably can get surgery for that.
Sure.
But I mean, unless they just, breaking bones in your back to make it smaller, you're going to have to work on that yourself. But being okay with that.
Yeah.
There are women that are married that are, have the same size as me. There are women with children that are, that have this same build. But just having that moment, it was like I was not worthy of any. I don't care who it was. I don't care if he didn't have a job. I don't care if he wasn't in college. You weren't worthy of anything in that moment. And you did it on purpose.
Yeah.
And it was like you could have played it off and been polite, but you chose to be mean.
That's
so
it.
it's like, you
chose.
carry, and so it's like you carry that, thinking in the back of your mind that all men are like that. That if you don't like it, or if you don't, or if it's not aesthetically pleasing to you, that you're going to treat me any type of way.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of carried that for a while until I got to my 30s, and that's when I realized like there's an inner beauty. Or when people are like, "Oh my God, you're so pretty," I'm just like, "What the fuck are they saying that? Like, leave me alone. Like, what are you doing?" Because I had that experience, and even though it, like I said, that was literally, I was a freshman in college, so probably 2003, y'all.
Yeah.
Carrying that and having to dismantle that for so long, along with the weight, is just hard to do.
I can't. I mean, that's something I'm still currently just going. I mean, that's kind of one reason we started this podcast, was like, we can all identify with that experience of like being almost purposely made to feel less than or unworthy or unlovable, or
Right.
and that's like a tough place to be in.
Absolutely.
And even just now, like, and in the heart, it's almost harder, is like, like losing this weight or whatever, and then trying to I'm not used to the attention I'm getting now.
Right.
I'm 33, and so it's like trying to reconcile like, oh, this is who I am now and that's who I was.
Right.
It's crazy, and it's
Absolutely.
hard, and it's hard to even now, like if a beautiful person just like walked up to me and she wanted to ask me out or whatever, like those moments like that you're talking about still stick in the back of your brain.
Absolutely. Like, ma'am, what are you doing here? Can you leave me alone?
Yeah. And so fighting that, and then the only thing that does, even if that person is so into you and they did everything they could to make you believe that they were into you, until you like work on that yourself and you're like, no,
Absolutely.
I am, then it's just not going to work. Like, you're going to make that
Absolutely.
difficult.
And I think that's what ended up happening. Not saying that there were outside forces, but after so long of hearing, I'm like, okay, well maybe I am.
Maybe I'm all right.
Maybe I'm all right. But it took a while, because somebody was looking at me, I was not looking at them, because I'm like, y'all don't like me because of that one experience. So, having to dismantle that, like I was saying, and fight the barriers of, my own personal weight loss struggles and what my face looks like. Because, we always say, I'm like, overweight does not mean, or obese, whatever it is, does not mean you're ugly.
Yeah, right.
I know a lot of people that are slender that, are not aesthetically pleasing to my eyes.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it doesn't, because you're big or whatever, it doesn't automatically mean that you are ugly, or unattractive, or whatever, unworthy of being loved, unworthy of being, married, or, however you want the end of your relationship to be.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're feeling these ways or these things and stuff, one of the things I remember you mentioning, probably like early on first season, was like that you're an emotional eater and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I mean all emotions. Okay?
yeah,
We're
me
happy, let's
too.
eat. We're sad, let's eat. Depressed, let's eat. We're celebrating what? Let's eat. So it's everything.
Yeah.
It's not even being, so when people think of emotion, they always think of being sad. No,
Right.
it's all of them.
That's true.
We gotta celebrate.
Yeah.
Let's eat.
No, we
Yeah,
joke about
absolutely.
doing comedy. We'll be like, "Oh, that was the worst set ever. I'm going to go eat something," and then we're like, "Man, I just murdered. I'm about to go eat." You're like,
Same thing, same fucking thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's emotional. Like it just, for some reason, we got to find a reason to put it in there.
yeah, it's so funny. But so like when you're feeling these like moments of maybe like I'm unworthy or because that's something kind of I'm doing this roller coaster lately, like mentally, where I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I got like 30 more pounds, and then other moments where I'm like, this is pointless. I'm just gonna eat, and because this is all that's gonna. What are ways that you kind of cope with? What things have you found outside of food to like cope with like feelings?
So for that feeling, because I also have that feeling, what I remind myself is that, girl, you did that before. And did that shit work? It did not work. So you can't, so I'm just being honest.
No, you're
It's not
right.
even- it's
You're
not
so
even
right.
coping with it. It's like all it does is going to take you, if you do that,
go right back.
Right. I was gonna say, you're going to go up another 10 pounds. So now you can lose that 10 pounds plus go back where you were and then start on your goal. So it's like I literally have that conversation with myself like, okay, you could let it go and just relax, or just stop and keep going. And that's what I have to remind myself, even now. So I'm on a weight loss journey. I'm getting ready to go with some of my homegirls from college. We are going to Essence Fest. So I'm like, okay. So once again, I feel like all my life I've been, outside of Tina, Vanessa, and Megan, even in my other social circles, I feel like I've been the biggest girl.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm probably going to be the big girl, but I don't want to be the biggest big girl that I've been. So if I'm a small big girl, that's what I want to be. So it's like, so that's right now what I'm working on. And so, February, I was doing really good, had a rough Valentine's Day. I'm not going to lie, but for whatever reason, I was just still going to, cause I'm like, okay, you remember July, girl, you got to be, so, so even though, Valentine's Day was kind of rough, I was like, I don't care. I got weight loss goals. So I did really good, know, but then y'all 1 week off. I was like, where the hell did 9 pounds go?
Yeah.
So I lost 17 pounds and I wasn't starving.
Right.
I lost 17 pounds for February. And then I took to be fair, I'll say a week and a half. I took a week and a half off once I got to March, and I stepped on the scale. I was like, oh my God. So I felt like giving up.
Yeah.
Because of my 17, I gained back 9.
you're just like,
Let's put that 9.
Hey, it could be water. It could be water.
I didn't know. So I stepped on again.
Yeah.
Like the next day, I was like, oh, damn, there it is. So I started freaking out. So I'm just like, you know what? Remember the goal that you have. Yes, you gained those 9 pounds because what were you doing and not doing versus, so I want to blame it on the time change, but also my schedule at work changed. So instead of working an hour later, I work an hour before. And so we, had daylight savings. So I'm like, okay, hey, whatever excuse you give yourself, that's fine.
Yeah.
But now, because I get off earlier, now we have daylight savings, girl, you can go and walk.
Yes.
So I'm going to, continue. So I did have that little week and a half when, shit got crazy. And I had to get adjusted to the new schedule. I'm just going to pick up and go back to what I was doing because I definitely have a weight loss goal and I'm going to get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's awesome. And so and I know another thing, I mean, going back to even the show, it's like when you're going through these moments and stuff and you talk about outside this friend group, your other friend group.
Right.
Talk about how important just having that support system was like during this journey.
Absolutely. I don't think that I could have done it without Vanessa and Megan. I don't care, y'all, what we were going through personally. Sometimes people do messed up stuff.
Yeah.
And if you don't own it, you just don't own it.
Right.
And you have to but that doesn't mean that we're going to stop loving you. Now, we may be mad for a little bit, because we're human. But it doesn't mean that we're going to stop loving you. But at the same time, I couldn't have kept the weight off as long as I have if I didn't have Megan and Vanessa and Tina Arnold. Not saying new Tina because I know she's on the season now, but I couldn't have done it without them, without their motivation, without knowing that they were doing it too.
Yeah.
So if there was ever a time that I wanted to give up or anything like that, they were always doing what they needed to do on their journeys. You don't always get to see our lives behind the scenes, and the four of us in different ways in our lives have struggled. And of course, you're not going to see that on the show. On the show, everybody has a home, everybody has a job, all that shit. But in real life, it's real.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, if my girls can do it, so can I. So even if there were times that I wanted to give up, I didn't, because they were facing different things with their children or different things at home, with their mates, and they were still losing their weight. They were still hitting their goals. And so I'm like, if they can do it, so can I.
That's got to be motivating.
It is. It is. And, even though I'm like, and I always tell them, like, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. Like, you did what you needed to do. You are doing a great job, and you motivate me. And I'm just like, I always tell them, I'm like, look, we aren't on TV.
Yeah.
The show isn't in front of us. We aren't, having, beats to talk about. This is us just talking. And that's what I really feel about them.
That's
And
awesome.
I feel like women do this a lot more than guys do, but you'll just give each other like positive affirmations a lot and like boost each other up, where I feel like guys don't necessarily do that with each other.
Like, nice goatee, douchebag.
But I love it. But you know what? But at the same time, like, even with you guys still motivate each other. So even if you even if you didn't have that like positive affirmation, because I'm gonna be honest,
We have started doing it more.
Okay, I love it.
We
I was gonna say, because you know what the girls are positive affirmations. Okay, bitch. And
That's exactly what we say to each other, actually.
So I'm just like, that's the thing. But I just remind them, that they are doing an amazing job. And they're like, you are too. I can see it. I'm like, no, this is about you.
Yeah.
And it's just, me reminding them that they're doing a good job. And because I see it, it makes me want to continue to do the journey. So yes, we're in front of the public eye under a heat lamp, with our weight loss journeys, but that doesn't make me not want to give up.
Yeah.
Otherwise I wouldn't be on the show if I didn't have an addiction to food.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
How much is sometimes I'll get down to where it's like I've lost weight and then I'll gain a little bit back, but like maybe like 5 pounds, and I'll start to feel bad. But then Mike will remind me like, hey, look how far you've come, or like, hey, look at this old picture. Like, how much of your, I guess, journey is like focusing forward versus like kind of like looking at like where you've come.
I think the easiest person to talk about with that is got to be my girl Megan. And I have to remind her, like, we saw her, but to see yourself, you saw yourself on Too Large.
You guys say, I forgot the show, the other show she
so
did.
I'm like, so I always joke, I mean, now, it's funny. It wasn't funny then, where, when she would get out of bed in the morning, I'm like, girl, remember them piss pads?
Yeah.
We kind of joke about
Remember
it.
the tank?
Right. I was like, girl,
yeah,
walking
the
around,
tank.
you don't have to, have this certain type of chair like Scott that you are bringing around because you don't want to, you're fearful that you may break your chair. You don't have your oxygen. If she has her oxygen, she's really sick. Going through, issues has gotten sick. Most people, when they get sick, they don't need that. But when you've had a history of lung issues that are
Sure.
she goes there. So I'm like, you don't walk around with oxygen. You don't need you don't need it anymore. So, when she starts getting down on herself, or if I gain a little bit, I'm like, girl, relax. You have lost all this weight and you are walking on your own. You are driving. You are doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
I have to remind her to look forward and not look back, because, like, as we were talking earlier, people, I mean, just regular in the comments, they're just, Megan, you fat bee, da da da. I mean, they just, it could be a picture of a cat. They're
so
like,
mean.
oh, by the way, we
Internet's
still
so much
hate you.
fun.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, like, where's that coming from? So it's like, I have to remind her to remind herself where she's come from. And I mean, same with myself. We can talk about how much you were. We can talk about, oh my God, why did you let yourself go and stay there for so long? We ain't got time for that.
You're right.
As we can see, crazy shit is going on every day. We got to look forward and enjoy the moments that we do have. And so, we've been living a healthier lifestyle and enjoy it and move forward.
Yeah. I'm excited to talk to her because, I mean, I love that this season.
I'm excited for y'all too. Baby, y'all going to be rolling.
Really?
That girl is funny. Yeah,
oh,
she's
that's
hilarious.
great. Yeah. No, she's one of our favorites because, I mean, like, especially this season gave her such a, this season I like because it seemed to, like, kind of give you guys, like, arcs throughout the
Right.
season,
Right.
And hers was it ended so it almost like quietly, like her thing is like very quiet in the throughout the season, like she's working on this goal, and then at the end of the season, like boom, she did that shit. And
Right.
like,
And so, and that was the thing, so with me, they're like, oh, Megan and Ashley didn't lose weight. And
yeah.
And so, and so people are even saying like, oh, well, she looks about 300 pounds. So, we'll see a comment. She'll like screenshot it. We'll laugh because Megan hasn't been over 300 pounds in God knows when. So, we just laugh about it. So, just it was kind of redemption for her because I'm like, girl, don't look at the comments. But sometimes it's hard for her not to look at the comments when she's commenting on something else that has nothing to do with that. And they're like, oh, she's listening. Oh, we have her attention. And, so it was kind of, it was really nice for me. I was doing one of these when, it ended with her weighing in and meeting Dr. Proctor's goal for her revision.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm like, girl, you are owed a revision. You lost so much the first time. The surgery can only go so far. You have done it and kept it off. You got to the weight that he needed you to get to, but it really, even though people are still going to talk, but for those that were doubting it, you could actually see it's on TV that they didn't alter the scale or anything. She worked her butt off to get to that weight. So it was really cool.
And it's like people can't be patient for the journey. It's like they just want that result right now. Not the people on the journey, but the people that are watching.
Yeah, and I had to realize that because they were like, oh, she didn't. I'm like, so y'all want me like Vanessa? Y'all want to see this and then this?
Yeah.
If
Yes,
you don't see
like where it
this
was like,
and then this, then it didn't happen. And I'm just like, I'm gonna redefine how that is. I may not get to I don't know that, but I may not get to 180. But I'm definitely gonna work, to strive to get to what I think I want to be. So even when I was talking to Dr. Proctor, he's like, I really want to see you under 200. Sir, please, I haven't been under 200 since I was 3. So relax, Dr. Proctor. Right. So I'm just like, but I'm like, if that's what, that's where my weight loss journey takes me, I'm okay with that. But I can't, even though I'm under that lamp, I'm not going to be, pressure. Because I did feel that for a while that I had to do this. I had somebody in my ear was like, well, that you hadn't lost enough weight. And when y'all go back to filming, but it didn't do anything.
I mean, that would make it worse, it would seem like.
You think, you would think that person wouldn't do that. But that's why they're no longer in my life. Yeah. But at the same time, it was like, you would think that would help. And it did the fucking opposite.
right.
So, here we are. But, that's why I took the break. Like, what is your purpose? Remembering what is your purpose for weight loss? It's not to please the fans because I don't get paid to lose weight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is my real life and the scale is real. If nothing else is real, the numbers on the scale are always real. So I just had to remember what my purpose was for losing weight and why I wanted to lose weight. So I kind of started, I started, kind of feeling bad, wasn't drinking my water. Something like one day I was like, I feel really shitty. I went to the hospital after work and it was literally just me being dehydrated. I was like, oh my God, you got to get it together. And so that was one thing. And then, the Essence Fest trip kind of came up. So I was like, okay, well, let me use that as a time. Like I said, I don't, I'm still going to be the big girl, but I don't want to be the big girl because body dysmorphia is real. I promise you, I still in my head, just because of the way I'm built, I'm like, my legs don't need to be fucking smaller. They're already normal. Like, can some of this just fucking go? Can these? So for me, I always feel like I look bigger to me. So that is always going to be a thing. I don't know if I lose 50 more pounds, if I'm still going to feel that same way. But I'm going to damn try.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you ever look at yourself now? I mean, I think one of the things that's hard for me is like I'll look at a picture of myself now and I'll almost stare at it out of just I can't even believe that's me. Like I'm trying to and then, or even worse, I'll look at almost like if you were watching older seasons of yourself, it's just connecting that's.
So I looked at the pictures from Fit Farm.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. Like, it was huge, girl.
Yeah.
And I just, I remember because, there was a whole thing, with the continuity when we do interviews and all. I'm like, look, I can't have no wig on while we are doing, while we're going to Fit Farm. I don't want nothing, me jumping and them making me do something or my head going down, the wig falling off because it's not attached. Can I, so I had to literally get approval for braids when we went on vacations and stuff. So they did this. So I remember getting breasts like, damn, your face was huge because all the hair was back off of my face. And I, remember, the little workout outfits I got. And I'm like, that was a 26, 28 or 28. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
It's weird. But then I'll look at a picture now and I'm like, I guess I'm smaller. But then I always do the thing where, okay, but we still got some work to do. So it's like I I see the before and after, but it's almost like I can't give myself time to like celebrate. Like I feel like I just remind myself, and I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing.
Yeah,
but I just
100%.
but it's like I just remind myself, okay, cool. But at the same time, you want to keep going.
Yeah, that's what I worry. Sometimes I worry that I'm like I will never. I'm worried I'm gonna be like it's never gonna be enough. You know, and
Well,
I don't know until I find out.
Yeah,
but like
I was gonna say. So I don't know what it'll be for you, but for me, so it was so weird. I don't even know how we pick our like what that bottom line.
Yeah.
is. But for me, I remember saying, I'm gonna be like 220. I don't know where 220 came
right,
from.
Yeah.
number.
But that just seems like I was like, okay, well, my neck will be a little, smaller. The back will be a little smaller. I don't know where that number came from, but it is. But that's when, when I went to Proctor, he was like, I really want to see you under 200. If you're going to try for a child, da-da-da. So, oh, fuck. Okay. So that means 25 more pounds. But here's the thing. I think I'm so used to being bigger and then doing like, a couple of weeks and like the weight just doing this.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like to go in. There's only a 3-pound weight loss because you're smaller now. So
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, what's going on?
Yeah.
Did I fail?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I just try to remind myself that I try to celebrate it, but I'm really in this thing of keeping it going.
Yeah. I mean, especially because we're in that like Biggest Loser generation too, where we watch that
Oh
and
my
these
God,
people
I want
like
to be on there so bad.
Me too.
Even though I couldn't stand Jillian, I'm like, he's had enough. Okay, look, now he's hurt himself. See there? I never talked to the TV before that.
he's
moment.
had enough.
Right, my God, what are you feeding them? But then we see the scale, and I'm like, they did it. Like I was,
Yeah.
literally like rooting for these people. So it was so cool.
Don't they mostly gain it all back?
A lot of them, in the years since, they've shown like how much their metabolisms have been just like absolutely demolished because of like the undereating and the overworking out and
my
the
goodness.
yeah. But so some of the later seasons are a lot better as far as
Okay.
like what their like routine and stuff is. But
Good.
they're eating like 800 calories and then they're walking, constantly, and yeah, it's like unhealthy, I suppose, but to us, like, I mean, I remember growing up thinking like that's how weight loss happens. It's only going to happen if I'm miserable in a gym and I'm starving myself.
Absolutely.
And I know we've been going a little long, but just a few more. I'm curious, like how when you decided the first time to get weight loss surgery, what was that like to decide like I'm going to take this step to
I remember, I was at work and one of the ladies, which I didn't even think, we're from the South, so we always say, well, she wasn't that big. She wasn't big to me, but I guess she was big to herself. It was one of our supervisors, so she was like, I'm going to a weight loss surgery meeting or bariatric surgery meeting you should come to. I'm like, well, why the hell she's saying I should come?
Yeah.
Even though I'm bigger than her.
That's so funny.
What
the fuck do you
yeah,
want?
right.
HR, where you at? HR, what the fuck is
well, I was cool with her, but
Yeah.
what does she mean? So I remember one Saturday we went and they were talking about the different type of surgeries, and that's when they mentioned like the weird thing that went on with the lap band and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, well, we know not to do that.
Your first one was a sleeve?
My first one was a sleeve.
Yeah.
So I was still like, okay, it wasn't. And then, so like one of the ladies in my office got it. And so, different makeup, she had, smaller on top, heavier on bottom, but she was a bigger girl.
Right.
Had children, all that stuff. So then she looked really good after surgery. She was one of those ones, and Lord, I can't stand these. After they get surgery, they get healthy. Now everybody got to get healthy. I'm like, fucking relax.
I did want to ask you about, yep.
Relax, pull the back, like leave us alone. But she had the whole office. I was on a kickball team, just trying to just walk in this medium because they made sure all the jerseys y'all were sexy. But I'm just in there, fucking gut hanging out.
Oh man,
big breast, back. It's ridiculous. Trying to get around trying to get around the diamond and the practices. I'm like, did I sign up for this? Like I did want to lose weight, but my God, they are serious.
Yeah.
Like, I thought we just gonna be this,
Yeah.
but they were
Kickball.
really serious. Right. It was serious. I'm like, why Atlanta got to do everything so real?
That's
Like,
so
damn.
fucking
I mean, they
Atlanta
had
shit.
DJs and da-da-da.
Oh, damn.
And I mean, it was real. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a
Trying to
minute. So
play.
it was, folks was dating folks. I'm like, the coaches were men. They were dating the women. Now the volunteer coaches, you out there looking at the woman bed. I'm like, what is this? But I still had fun, y'all. I did. I had fun. But she looked really good. So, she was healthier. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I can do that. But I feel like that first time I really, with insurance, they're like, okay, the surgeon that I use, he had been doing surgeries here, in Atlanta. So you know what to say, you know what to do. I did my 6 sessions, da-da-da. I don't know that I was ready.
Yeah.
I really wish I could have really done it over, because I still was doing it by myself,
Right.
And that's how I felt like my whole weight loss journey has been. Not saying I didn't have the support of family, but I mean, you got to do it on your own.
How old were you when you did it the first time?
I was 29.
29.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm just like, okay, well, this shit just gonna fall.
Yeah.
So it did start, falling off, but then after, so long, and, I wasn't getting up. Oh, you look so good. I mean, everybody was used to seeing me at that. So I'm like, they're not saying, what am I doing? Oh my God. And then I could start eating a little bit more. So I'm like, oh, fuck. So then somewhere up in there, I don't know where, I still was, I still joined another kickball league, but I still wasn't focused on what I need to be focused on, which is the calories. So you can have the active part, right?
Yeah.
But if you aren't in that kitchen watching,
Yeah.
however you're going to do it, whether you're going to count calories, count little triangles, Weight Watchers, whatever, whatever you're going to do,
Yeah.
you got to be consistent. And I think that was different that time versus this time. And I just kind of did it because, all of my life, I've been, a bigger girl, and, you got to lose that weight, and da-da-da. Everybody, you got to lose weight, da-da-da-da.
Was that pressure on you growing up too, like to lose weight?
Well, it was really weird. And, my grandmother's never going to see this.
Yeah.
But this is my mom's mom. So I never knew that there was something wrong with me until her. And I now know that she was really trying to help me. But it was weird because she was the one that gave me the appetite. So when I was little, I apparently wasn't eating. And so there was a vitamin that would give you an appetite. So now, of course, she is 81. So she doesn't remember that she was the one that told my mom to give me this vitamin because I wasn't eating. I was a normal size, y'all. Surprisingly. So
Shout out
then,
grandmas making
Grandma.
Right.
It's always grandma.
So then, I become this chubby kid. So first grade, by second grade, your girl this back was big.
Yeah.
Same size. And so she would say, oh, she got to lose that weight and da 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 da. And so then, I developed a thing where, I don't know what the scientific term is. Basically, I'm knock-kneed. So I'm like, oh, we got to fix her legs. So I didn't know if there was anything wrong with me until her. But every time I was around her, she'd talk about losing weight and talking about this, and it was just so weird. My parents weren't talking about that, but she had done the same thing to my mom. So my mom really wasn't, I guess back in the day, she was, I think, maybe like a size 14, but to her that was big because my grandmother was a very small person.
That generation of our grandparents though were obsessed with weight and stuff.
Right. So my parents, they really didn't, and and maybe because they came from parents that were doing that. I'm not sure why. But it wasn't until, I was a teenager when they were like, okay, well, I'm at the doctor, and the doctor's trying to suggest things like maybe you should go to the nutritionist. Here's the thing. When you got overweight parents and they aren't trying to stop their lifestyle, it's is not going to fucking work.
Hell
Yeah.
no.
And so I just remember being hungry, and my mom I'm like, Mom, but when is dinner being made? Because I'm just I'm waiting to eat. I'm trying to be healthy. It wasn't going to work until I could take it over for myself because it wasn't going to be done in the house. And that's just a real thing, and I'm not resentful to my parents for it. Do I hate being a fat kid? Absolutely. But
Sure.
when I realized that I needed to make a change and it wasn't going to be done with them, I just had to wait. And then you would think at college it would have gotten better. No, I was at a dining hall,
Dude.
and they was cooking every fucking thing.
Yeah.
So I was
Dining
on
halls.
campus. Oh my God. So everybody, the food wasn't good. And I was like, oh, it wasn't. No.
I mean,
I'm
honestly,
well,
I could eat pizza. Okay.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Yeah.
even if you couldn't eat anything else, they definitely had pizza, So while everybody else was complaining, the skinny girls. So while everybody else was complaining, I'm just like, well, let me go ahead and get this.
Well, I'll have your freshman 15. Thank you.
Right. So I took their freshman 15, mine. So it was,
Yeah.
but that was really that was how it even got started. My manager recommending it. It wasn't me saying, oh my God, I need an overhaul, I need a change. Versus the second time, I was like, wait a minute, am I on fucking blood pressure medicine? Or,
Right.
one of my friends who's a pharmacist, she's like, it was the first line of defense. I don't give a damn. Why am I on pills?
Yeah.
That I have to be. So that part was scary.
Yeah.
And getting ready to cross over this decade of being 40, one of the things that really scared me was I thought about my dad, this insidious thing that, first is this, then it's this, then it's this. I didn't want that for myself.
Right.
So, the second time around it was more, really about health. Of course I'm going to look good, but it was really about health. The first time it was about vanity. I wanted to be skinny. I didn't know what that meant.
It feels
I wanted
great.
to be fucking as small as possible. I mean, bring out the toddler clothes if you must.
Yeah.
And it was a vanity thing, but and I didn't have any health issues or anything like that. The comorbidity, for insurance approval was that my BMI was over a certain amount, but nothing else. This time, you go 8-9 years later, there's, the onset of diabetes. There is the high blood pressure because my stress test, when I was getting ready to have surgery, I had to end up going to the cardiologist. I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers better not fuck up my surgery.
I know.
So I got scared. But they gave me the pills and, I did whatever stress thing they needed for the cardiologist for them to clear me for Dr. Proctor to do the surgery.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we are having a great time.
I know. You see, I told you I can talk.
No,
See, you like,
seriously,
Charlie, it's 10
appreciate it.
o'clock.
This is
It's
great.
this girl.
No, seriously, I did just realize we didn't do our theme song.
Oh, no.
But we will before you go, I
Okay.
promise.
Yeah.
We do have some just closing questions for you. That's cool. What's your favorite cheat meal?
Oh my God. There's so many, y'all. I mean, I still love food. But my go-to would be Chinese.
Chinese food?
Nice.
Yeah. Or can I say Chinese? Somebody corrected me one time and said, well, you have to say Asian. You can't say
Oh,
Chinese.
hell no.
No, I want specifically Chinese food.
Right. I was gonna say
I don't want vague Asian food.
Right. I was gonna say it's a local Chinese,
Sushi
local
is
like right up the
not,
street. Right. Yeah. No.
Not that.
Yep. It's just a regular combo meal. I get
Yep.
that. I'm good for like dinner or something like that. And that taste is gone. Keep it going.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite workout? What's the go-to workout right now?
Walking, y'all.
Walking.
I will walk. So let me tell you. It's spring here, and my allergies. The older I get, I'm just like, damn, is something else gonna break down? But my allergies are messing up. But it's
Yeah.
like it's free, and I told you I took the year off, and I'm like, until you get serious, no gym membership. I want you to stay. I wanted myself to stay the course. So if you can go, walking, come hell or high water, then we can talk about giving the gym membership.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I was not starting over, but continuing the journey, but making sure that I'm consistent. So I love a good walk.
Me too. I like a good walk.
That's how we started this whole thing. It was like literally us just
Walking.
walking around the block.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we were like, oh my God, this hurts so bad.
Oh my God. Y'all going back was ridiculous. I was like, damn, gotta fucking walk.
There's one soundbite I wish I had. It's you or Megan that I can't tell because the camera's on, but it's just because you're done with the walking and someone's just like, get walking, bitches.
That was me. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I'll show you guys later. I actually made shirts that says "Keep
Really?
walking, bitches."
Keep walking.
Absolutely. Because I'm just like, if y'all don't leave me alone, just go, y'all. I'm not trying to stop y'all flow.
Yeah.
Y'all go ahead and walk. Are you
so
okay?
funny.
Hey, leave me alone. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm done. So yeah.
That was great. I say it. Think about it constantly. Keep walking, bitches. That's the name of the episode.
Is it?
Maybe we'll see. I
Okay,
just
well,
thought of
I
it.
was like,
Yeah,
oh my
no,
God.
that just hit me right now. I'm like, that's a great name for an episode.
I want to get in there. I want to upload videos, and I love it because it's the Ask the BFF. They're like, oh, sorry that I can't tell you when I first opened the account. I can't tell you what I have for dinner.
Ancient Chinese
yeah.
secret.
Right, that's
just
what I'm
kidding. I'm
saying.
sorry.
Look, if it's one thing, I'm like, Trump, can you help me get in my
I know.
please?
I love that pop up. Trump, thanks to our fearless leader, you've
Right.
gained access to your TikTok.
I probably would. I'm not gonna like, thank you, Trump, for getting me to my TikTok.
It's a great show.
Right, do it. I love it. How you do it? The hands, do the hands. I love it. I love it.
Do you ever want a shirt in the pool?
Yes, I have. But it's so funny. So when I read when you hit me up and I read it, I instantly knew what you're talking
Exactly.
about. Like, big dudes wear shirts in the pool. I'm like,
Real
hell,
talk.
big people wear shirts in the pool. I have absolutely worn a shirt over my bathing suit because y'all don't need to see all this, and then I'll feel mortified if you do. So I absolutely have. It's so
that
funny
makes
that I
it feel so
instantly
good, the
knew
news,
what that was.
the
I was like, I
name.
fucking get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
Thank you. That was our goal with this podcast. Is like shirts in the pool. This
Instantly.
is for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it.